All right, we're just getting some more legal news in today. It's another big win here for the Trump administration on the legal side of things, as a judge has ruled that the administration's sweeping firings that have been taking place in the federal workforce can continue as Doge and Elon Musk eye more cuts. So let's bring our panel in. Joins as well, criminal defense attorney. I think, Brian, this is like 3 in the last few days. At first, the story was the administration was being checked by the courts, but now they're winning some of these in the courts. What do you make of it?
Hey, Connell, great to be back with you. Yeah, if you could break down the 3 areas that Trump is trying to really litigate in the courts, it's the immigration, which was the citizenship, birthright citizenship, and then you've got the transgender, and then the third one you're talking about is Trump overseeing the bureaucracy, right? He wants to be able to determine who works in certain agencies and who gets fired. And I think the courts are coming down in his favor because ultimately, Connell, if this gets to the U.S. Supreme Court, I think Trump is likely to prevail on this because basically what he's doing is he's giving directive to agencies, and his argument is going to be, look, I can't carry out our agenda without some oversight of these departments, Department of Justice, IRS, for example, because think about it. I mean, he's like the CEO of our country, and if he can't have any input on who works at certain agencies, how is he going to be able to carry out his agenda?
Okay, so critical cases. You both brought up the Supreme Court in your answers to these questions. It is interesting because that was part of the narrative early on, Brian, that even if the president was going to lose in some of these cases, that maybe they were almost doing it on purpose, of birthright citizenship being an example there, where they said, well, we're not going to win this, but we want to change, the law, so we're going to try to drive it up to the Supreme Court. There, they'd need a constitutional amendment, I think. But so there's other examples where maybe they wouldn't. But you work that in with the ones that they're actually winning. But I wonder what role the high court, Brian, plays in this in the long run.
Yeah, Connell, you know what? This is really like the Super Bowl of politics, right? You've got on one hand, you've got President Trump, who really is changing the landscape of government. He basically is issuing executive orders that are really tantamount to creating new law, bypassing Congress, right? And then on the other hand, you've got a lot of Democratic states and a lot of Democratic leadership that are filing a plethora of lawsuits to block what President Trump is trying to do, arguing it's outside the scope of his authority, or like you said, it violates the Constitution. But what's interesting here, Connell, is in this political Super Bowl, you're going to have 9 referees assigned to this game. And those are the 9 Supreme Court justices that ultimately have to make the determination in each of these different cases. And again, I'll finish with this. I think Trump has a great chance on regulating the federal bureaucracy, firing who he wants, shutting down agencies if he wants, if there's inefficiency with taxpayer money. But I got to tell you, when you come to issues like birthright citizenship, it's clear in the Constitution, and even possibly on the transgender issue, it's going to be a little bit tougher for these Supreme Court justices to side with him on that, because it arguably may violate the Constitution.
But thank you, Brian.